Hello, Steph's here. Deaf people for dummies, what is that? Just like other books you learn about deaf people and become better at it and when hanging out with them. To start with, sometimes even people come up to us and ask you this, why do you do this? Rude. I don't know about you, but why do you speak over in the place when you talk? You drive. You can drive. Yep. And that's what? Deaf people are better drivers. Why do you say? Music, switching children, and talking on the mobile, and without that, distracted by them as much. Oh, I feel that you are deaf. No, don't be that person. It just forces us in a situation where we have to interrupt a conversation to remind them to not waffle away or mumble, and we'd rather not. So please try to be inclusive by being aware of the deaf people involved and let them know of their subject and content, because if someone says pumpkin, what's that about? It could be pumpkin carving, pumpkin soup, or cloning them. It could be anything. Your English is really good for a deaf person. You speak really good for a hearing person. They mostly mumble. You talk so well. Being bilingual is awesome. It really helps deaf people with their English and communication. Putting down other people by making one person look is not cool. Just like previous point. Where are you from? I can't seem to place your accent. I'm from the moon. I'm just me. You should be in Jabberjaw, seeing you can talk. You will also need good listening skills. See, I doesn't make you hearing person ever. I'll test you, and then they ring, and they're frustrated when I don't understand a thing. Especially when I make sure to mention that I'm deaf. So, what do you expect? Is it switch on? Switching on. How about? No. Using TI and EVAs can be exhausting, so please do sign to them or write it down. Why didn't you get this in the first time? I'm not a robot. No one's perfect. I only have like 20 electrodes and you have like 40,000 in both ears, so give us some slack when we ask hearing people to repeat themselves. Hearing people, eh? It's not a nice feeling when you see that face, and it just makes me feel inconvenient. We live in a hearing society, so we have no choice but to try every day. So please remember that. So you need to do this and this. That's not helpful. Please always face us and not mumble when talking. Be sociable. That's not a very helpful thing to say when we work twice as hard to understand conversations, and it can be draining and upsetting. So yes, we often need to switch our minds off even during or after social gathering. By the way, where are you sneaking away to? From the party? I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry that you had to cope with all these annoying sounds and not being able to switch off. I really feel for you. So silly, doesn't it? So, being deaf is not always obvious. Most of the time when we tell you this, it's so so that you're aware and really asking for sympathy. When they pronounce really slowly, like, are you okay? Just not finish. And it just doesn't make it any easier to understand since your mouth not distorted and just doesn't sound right to speak normally and or write or type on the mobile. The next also, well, I hope this has been very useful and that you have learned something new. For more videos, please subscribe on my icon on the bottom left. And I'll see you in next video. Bye bye.